Motherland has arrived, and fortunately I am Superman of Doom. The people of the Motherland have arrived, and fortunately I am Superman of Doom. Chapter 62. With the Queen, baby, Kryptonian ship, and Trident artifact, the bone spur monster leaps towards the vast ocean in the direction of the setting sun. The clouds ahead have been broken again, and above the sparkling sea, the sky with an infinitely good sunset is a terrifying atmosphere scene. Atlana couldn't open her eyes in the strong wind, and although she could bear it, she was worried about the baby in her arms. So she gritted her teeth and stretched out her hand to one end of the trident. Airplanes. The trident artifact slightly glowed with a circle of golden energy ripples, and the water waves spread like water waves, resisting the powerful sprinting pressure and fierce wind around it. Atlana secretly glanced at the existence of the bone spur that grabbed her, and found that the other party did not care about it. And did not worry about her taking away the Poseidon trident artifact. Also, even the sea god was defeated, and even if she held the trident artifact, it was far from enough to see. But fortunately, the other party does not seem to have the intention of eating or hurting himself. Only, where is the other party going to take himself and the baby? Atlana reluctantly lowered her head and looked at the sea below that she was constantly climbing under the erupting hurricane with her amazing jump. 0070 Doomsday Superman's beginning. The fireball-like sun disappeared into the horizon and went out. DC Cosmos Earth, Southern Italy, Mediterranean Center. Boom. As if a meteorite fell diagonally down from the night sky, the sea suddenly exploded, and the water splashed tens of meters high under the moonlight and night. This time, he actually no longer jumped and took off, but kept falling towards the bottom of the sea. Wrapped in a large gray and white bone palm, Atlana hugged the sleeping baby tightly, and was taken to the deep sea to fall rapidly. The two red flames of destruction became more and more turbulent. And the Poseidon trident artifact that entered the sea stretched the seawater out on his own. Gurgle. Soon, the bone spur monster took him down to a depth of 10,000 meters, still bottomless. I remember that there was no underwater civilization in the deep sea area here. As the queen of Atlantis in the underwater kingdom, Atlanta was able to see far in the deep sea, and was secretly lucky. Suddenly her pupils shrank. But she saw thousands of strange and hideous black shadows rushing towards them. That kind of hideous black shadow, like a person and not a person, like a fish and not a fish, gray and ugly, full of fish scales and spikes. Like the same-head humanoid sea monster, especially the number is amazing, it is densely packed in the sea, making people's scalp numb. Atlana was horrified in her heart. It's the Trench Clan. By the way, this is the deep sea area where the Undersea Kingdom sacrifices to the Trench Clan. Quote, the Trench Clan, after the division of the Atlantis Empire, the undersea human race, one of the 6 underwater kingdoms. Later transformed into an unintelligent man-eating sea monster with the changes of the times. These primitive and hideous trench monsters can overthrow a small underwater kingdom in the sea. Atlana trembled until she felt the grip of the 5 fingers of the hard grey bone palm, and suddenly she was not afraid again. Really? In the next instant, 2 thick beams of red destruction energy heat cut through the deep sea water, and as the bone spurs turned their heads and swept around, a large amount of seawater boiled and evaporated, and I don't know how many trench tribe monsters were split in 2 by the red-hot light that extended 10,000 meters. The dazzling red light cut through the 10,000-meter deep sea here. The seawater was boiling, forming a whirlpool torrent, and the remains of countless trench monsters scattered. Wow wow. The surviving trench monsters all swam out in panic. Atlana sighed secretly, closing her eyes and not daring to look again. When it comes to monsters, I'm afraid that there are no monsters in this world that are comparable to the current existence. The bone spurs did not pursue the escaped surviving trench tribes, and continued to take Atlana and the others to the bottom of the sea until they reached the bottom of a large natural whirlpool. This natural undersea whirlpool, with a thunderous roar, seems to lead to the other side of the world. Without waiting for Atlana to react, the bone spurs appeared and plunged them into it. The sea water is all broken and rushes into the whirlpool strongly. Immediately, he rushed out directly from the surface of the sea, and his eyes were suddenly bright. This is. Atlanta's eyes widened in surprise, looking at the center of the earth that had reached deep from the 10,000-meter seabed whirlpool, and saw the floating mountains suspended in the air. And the dome of the center of the earth above her head was a piece of colorful crystal, casting beams of bright sunlight down. A huge pristine island nestled in the sea ahead. In the meantime, there was a long-extinct pterosaur soaring in the air, and the fear of detecting the terrifying aura of bone spurs flew away. The center of the earth hides the sea. Atlanta opened her mouth in shock, but she did not expect to arrive at the legendary mythical place, where the trident artifact was stored. Trample. Doomsday Dream jumps high on the surface of the sea and lands on the primordial island, releasing the things in his hand and looking at the large crystal on the dome of the center of the earth. That's right, this is the hidden sea of the earth where the trident artifact was stored before. Doomsday Dream remembers that in the Aquaman movie, there is an unquenchable light here. Now arriving here, bathed in the light of the hidden sea in the center of the earth, the red flame of destruction in the eyes of the Dream of Doom has been extinguished. Sure enough, as he expected, The geocentric dome crystal of the Earth's center of the sea has absorbed the radiation transformation of the sun for billions of years, so it can emit the same bright light as the sun. In other words, the crystal light of the Earth's central Tibetan Sea, like the sun's light, has the radiation effect of the yellow sun on the Krypton family. This is perfect for him now. Before completely controlling the power of Doomsday, it can be used as a stronghold for the ancient Doomsday avatar. That's right, there's another thing that needs to be taken from the outside. Doomsday Dream jumped up sharply, and under Atlana's astonished gaze, jumped onto the wall of the Earth's dome and reached out to break off a piece of the sun crystal. Boom! The bone spur monster held a colorful sun crystal in one hand, fell into the surface of the Tibetan Sea that had just been broken, and returned the same way. Stay, on a large island in the center of the Earth, sitting on the beach holding a baby Kryptonian. Outside, Antarctica, a patch of sunlight suddenly lit up here. Stationed at the local scientific institute, a scientist looked at the night sky to one side and seriously suspected his eyes. Now, Antarctica is clearly in the eternal night period of the whole day and night, and the result. Under his gaze, a small sun glowing with dazzling daylight fell towards a large iceberg deep in the South Pole. Trample. At the top of the iceberg, an avalanche rolled, and a 3-meter-tall bone spur fell here holding a piece of sun crystal. It's good and useful. Ancient Doom's red eyes flashed a wisp of sanity, and he looked down at the colorful crystal he was holding. This crystal has the same effect as the sun, and the energy continuously emits yellow solar radiant energy, slightly weakening the desire for destruction in his heart. Yes, only slightly weakened. It is something else that keeps Dream of Doom sane and human until now. Then, the eyebrows where the bone spurs existed, looming with a broken yellow warm light, resisting the will to destroy. Useful, really useful. Doomsday Dream is excited. The fragments of the mind gems obtained in the Marvel Universe stream, the power really passes through reality, directly affecting the ancient Doomsday incarnation of the current Dream. Although it is still unable to completely suppress the endless desire to destroy, it can also extend the sanity of Doomsday Meng to half an hour. Time is running out. Doom dreams of getting the same item in the Dream of the DC Universe as soon as possible, taking advantage of the remaining sanity. Doomsday Meng scanned the icebergs around him, looking through the present. Everything in Antarctica could not be hidden from him. Found it. Soon, Doomsday Meng's red gaze fell on an iceberg next to him, and his gaze turned into a substantial scorching energy ray in the next moment, melting the top of the iceberg from the outer wall inward, and forcefully carved out a large passage inside the iceberg. Holding the colorful sun crystal, Dream of Doom jumped towards the entrance of the iceberg. Follow the mouth of the melting channel to the inside of the iceberg. I saw that a black alien spaceship was stuck in the ice. The eyes of Doom Meng quietly surged red flames. This is a Krypton spacecraft. More precisely, a large exploration spacecraft of Krypton. Is the father of the son of Kryptonian born in natural childbirth, Foer, in order to find a suitable planet for Kryptonians to habit. The unmanned intelligent detection spacecraft sent in the early years. The Krypton spacecraft eventually reached Earth, which made Foer decide to send the son of Krypton here. These are naturally all learned by Meng through the movie memories of his past life. This Kryptonian spacecraft was supposed to remain frozen for more than a decade, and then reactivated by Superman, the son of an adult Krypton. Now, he dug it up in advance. Doomsday Meng put down the sun crystal and sighed softly inward, and the scorching airwave suddenly surged, melting the frozen frost on the wall of the spacecraft, revealing the closed cabin entrance of the spacecraft. In the Superman Man of Steel movie, the Kryptonian spacecraft cannot be opened from the outside unless it is forcibly destroyed, or it is genetically verified by Kryptonian. Doomsday Dream stepped forward and arrived in front of the cabin entrance, and with the sound of the spaceship, the cabin door automatically opened. Confirm the Kryptonian gene. Welcome, son of Krypton. A pleasant intelligent word comes into the ear. First chapter previous chapter